What is POWERS? It stands for Philippine Overseas Workers Economic Reform System. POWERS should be an independent agency under the executive branch, but that is not subject to the direct control of the chief executive, just like other commission. It has its own unique and independent policies and has its own operating body to serve for the welfare of the OFWs and run by no other than OFWs. POWERS has been created as a result of a decade-long neglected interests and dissatisfactory services for OFW by state agencies and shall be never linked with the said agencies. POWERS shall cover and include, but not limited to, health, education, employment, insurance, repatriation, and other OFW concerns. The Philippine Overseas Workers Economic Reform System is an independent, non-partisan organization geared with goal and results-oriented individuals with a steadfast and impartial commitment to create a lasting positive change in the lives of the overseas Filipino workers and its families, guided by the virtues of honesty, integrity, and upward morality. POWERS seeks to protect and promote the welfare of the overseas Filipino workers, empower the OFWs and its families by delivering social services excluded in their work contract and those that cannot be provided by their host country. Foster unity and cooperation among the members towards the attainment of the common goal. And develop a stronger sense of patriotism for greater nation building. Philippine Overseas Workers Economic Reform System is aimed specifically to deliver related assistance to the OFWs who are victims of maltreatment, exploitation, and abuses, and offer support for repatriation if necessary. To provide financial and technical assistance for the returning OFWs who are victims of abuses, aim to establish their own income-generating and sustainable livelihood projects. To improve the living condition of the OFWs and their family who are prey to injustices by establishing programs and projects that suit their skills and capabilities. To narrow the gap between the privileged and the underprivileged by providing necessary social services responsive to the specific needs of every OFWs around the world. To elevate awareness of this advocacy and offer support to the related ones. To assist the Philippine government and other agencies and instrumentalities in delivering basic services and privileges for the OFWs. Membership and POWERS may come in two ways. One, by compulsory registration upon processing of employment contracts of OFWs at the POEA, and by voluntary registration through on-site or through electronic registration. Amount of contribution and effectivity of membership. Membership shall be effective upon payment of membership contribution in the amount of $60 annually or its equivalent in the prevailing peso rates. These fees can also be paid semi-annually, quarterly, or monthly. Membership shall be for a period of 30 years, commencing from the first day of the month to which the members' initial contribution to the OFW fund applies, provided that the member shall have contributed a total of 360 monthly contributions of the time of the maturity. Termination of membership. Membership shall be terminated anytime upon the occurrence of any of the following, provided that the member's financial obligations with the OFW fund are first fully settled. Membership term maturity, death, retirement, permanent total disability or insanity, and other causes as may be provided for by the Board of Trustees. Powers shall consist of the following: Executive Board, which consists of Chief Executive Officer, Deputy Commissioner for Management, Deputy Commissioner for Services, Chief of Finance, Chief of Budget Management, Chief of Audit, Chief of Welfare and Assistance, Labor Attaché, Legal Officer, and the regional representatives. Funds. Independent funds must be coming from the initial membership fees and duly constituted contributions. Dependent funds can be acquired from the lawful appropriation of the Executive Department.
The OFW Legacy Fund. 2 billion pesos from the government shall be deposited to any bank. The interest will be used for maintenance and other operating expenses. The Legacy Fund is a reserve fund, intact and shall never be touched for other purposes. With this fund, Powers shall be self-sufficient and sustainable agency.
Aid and benefits. There are two groups of benefits. One is the basic benefits. Consists of emergency medical assistance, legal assistance, repatriation services, and assistance. And for the premium benefits, 1. Educational assistance or scholarship for dependents, health insurance, paid travel and leisure package, low to zero interest loans, housing programs, balikbayan package, retirement and death benefits. Retirement. Any member shall be compulsorily retired upon reaching age 65. The member may, however, opt to retire earlier upon the membership term maturity. Permanent total disability. The following disabilities shall be deemed total and permanent. Temporary total disability lasting continuously for more than 120 days. Complete loss of sight of both eyes. Loss of two limbs at or over the ankle or wrist. Permanent complete paralysis of two limbs. Brain injury resulting in incurable imbecility or insanity. Such other cases which are adjudged to be total and permanent disability by a duly licensed physician and approved by the board. The OFW Fund. The OFW Fund is a private fund held in trust by the Powers. Being a trust fund, no portion thereof or any of its income, dividends, or earnings shall accrue to the general fund of the national government. Neither shall any amount or portion thereof be conjoined with the government money, nor revert to the national government. In the same manner, it is exempted from the one fund doctrine of the government. Purpose of the OFW Fund. The OFW Fund can only be used for the purposes for which it was created. That is, to serve the welfare of member OFWs and their families, which shall include the financing of core programs and services of the Powers. No funds shall be withdrawn from the OFW Fund to respond, aid, supplement, or in any manner augment any required expenditure by other government agencies. Source of the OFW Fund. The OFW Fund is the sum total of the amounts under the management and fiscal administration of the board and the secretariat, including the $60 contributions that shall accrue to the fund as fees, investment, and interest income, and income from other sources. Appropriation from the national government. Appropriation from the national government is a lump sum representing the responsibility of the national government for the continued operations and maintenance of the Powers, shall be included in the Annual General Appropriations Act. Congress shall annually appropriate the necessary amount to meet the funding requirement for personal services and the maintenance and other operating expenses of powers. Nothing shall prevent the national government from allocating funds for the operation or implementation of any of the programs or services stated herein, including the budget for capital outlay.
OFW Search and Rescue Committee. Tasked to perform search and rescue missions for the distressed OFW in times or in the event of any political unrest or natural calamities. Workers are accorded with airport assistance, psychosocial counseling, stress debriefing, and transport services or fares for their onward travel to their respective provinces. The OFW Hospital, to provide medical and surgical treatment and nursing care for sick or injured overseas Filipino workers. Having hospital built for OFWs will fight the discrimination issues suffered by them. It will also open jobs and opportunities for our health professionals. The OFW absentee voting system. To maximize the power of OFW voting population, powers shall establish a unified system of voting. Having a number of voting systems, such as postal voting, proxy voting, and or online voting, are vulnerable for fraud or cheating. There must be one unified voting system for OFWs.
Philippine Overseas Workers Economic Reform System. For the OFW, by the OFW.